Most people approach employee document management as an electronic filing cabinet. Create a document type, add security, configure retention, and start moving files into it. But when I'm architecting employee document management, the configuration is not my starting point. My first question is, what are we ensuring about this document from the moment it enters the system until the moment it is destroyed? Because in this video, I'm going to show you that employee document management isn't really about documents. It's about controlling the complete lifecycle of sensitive employee information. Welcome to CloudCTW. This channel is designed to help you understand not only how ServiceNow HRSD works, but why the design decisions behind it matter and how an architect thinks through those decisions. So let's sit down and architect employee document management. Imagine HR tells you, "We need a place to store employee documents." It sounds straightforward, but this is where I normally slow the conversation down. What kinds of documents? Who owns them? Why are they being retained? Should the employee be able to see them? What event should eventually cause them to be deleted? Those are not configuration questions. They are business policy questions. And if the business cannot answer them, creating document types in ServiceNow will not solve the problem. It will simply automate the uncertainty. Before I open the platform, I want HR, legal, privacy, and records management stakeholders aligned on the rules we are asking ServiceNow to enforce. Now we get to the area that should make you slow down even more: security. Employee documents may contain identity information, compensation details, medical information, disciplinary records, or legal evidence. So I do not begin by asking, which groups should I add to the security policy? I begin with, who should be allowed to see this information, and under what circumstances? Should the employee have access? Should every HR agent have access, or only a specialized team? Does a user need to belong to a group, have a role, or satisfy both conditions? This is also why I prefer establishing a secure default policy. A newly created document type should never become exposed simply because someone forgot to add its security configuration. Then I test the design using actual personas. I test as the employee, as an HR agent, and as a specialist. I also test as someone who should have no access at all. Security is not complete when the policy record is saved. It is complete when the correct people can and cannot reach the document. Once the policy is understood, I start thinking about the document types. Document types are central to employee document management because they connect the file to its classification, security, expiration behavior, and retention rules. But here is the mistake I would avoid. Do not create a new document type simply because two documents have different names. Ask whether they actually require different behavior. Suppose HR has a benefits enrollment form and a benefits eligibility letter. Do those documents need different access, different retention, different legal treatment? If the answer is no, separate document types may only create additional administration. But compare a benefits letter with an employee relations investigation document. Those files may require completely different security and retention behavior. Now the distinction has architectural value. A good document structure reflects meaningful business differences, not every variation in terminology. The next question is, what happens after the document is stored? This is where retention periods, expiration notifications, purge authorization, and legal holds begin working together. But do not treat them as unrelated configuration records. They represent one lifecycle. A document enters the repository. Its retention clock begins from a meaningful date. Someone may need to be notified before it expires. Authorization may be required before it is purged. And if a legal hold exists, destruction must stop. The important architectural decision is choosing the correct date from which retention is calculated. Should it begin when the file was uploaded? When it expires? When the employee leaves? When the related case closes? Choosing an available date field is easy. Choosing the date that represents the organization's actual records policy is the work. And someone must own that policy after go-live. Laws change, business policies change. Retention rules cannot become configuration that nobody reviews again. Now let's connect this to the HR service. ServiceNow can automatically move case attachments into employee document management when a case is completed. That is useful, but I would never turn it on without asking what people normally attach to that service. Consider a general benefits inquiry. An employee might attach a valid benefits document, but they might also attach a screenshot, an email chain, or something unrelated that helped explain the question. Should every attachment become part of the employee's official document file? Probably not. Automation should be used when the service has a predictable document purpose and a reliable classification. Where the content varies, the manual move action may provide better control. The goal is not to move the highest number of attachments automatically. The goal is to create a trustworthy employee record. Once these decisions are clear, the configuration becomes much easier. You know why the document type exists. You know which security policy it needs. You know what controls its retention and expiration. And you know whether attachments should move automatically or require a person to review them. I have a separate step-by-step video where I walk through configuring employee document management. I have linked that video here. Watch that video next to see how the architecture we discussed becomes actual ServiceNow configuration. Here is the idea I want you to take into your next design conversation. An employee document is not just a file. It is sensitive business information with an owner, an audience, a purpose, and an end of life. If you want to keep learning to architect ServiceNow, click on this next video.